All right, then one loss today and one break even as well. So let's have a little look at what happened. So initially, the first entry was on GBP USD. It was a momentum trade. So as a category, because of the momentum here, didn't think price was going to pull back into the premium before continuing. I had my bets when I'm gonna jump on the 5 actually. Easier to explain. I had my bets on just a continuation down because of where Tokyo had ranged overnight. I was somewhat right, as you can see here, it playing out, but we were just funny choppy markets today, and it didn't quite play out. So the initial markup was on Euro USD. This is what enticed me for the shorts. So this is 4-hour premium, mitigated it, took out the highs, started creating 1-hour structure to the downside. This was nice and clean. We traded this yesterday, nice trade. And then today we pulled into the premium and I expected a continuation. Now, one thing that I didn't take into consideration this morning is this is just one big range, and here is the bottom end of the range. So if I was to just take this range, for example, let's say here to the top, anything below this middle line is going to be discount of the range. Below is discount, above is a premium. Now, although the daily's bearish and the 4 hours bearish, this is still a 1 hour, one big choppy 1 hour range. So when we come into the premium, it's probably worthwhile being a bit more cautious. Now, I didn't be more cautious. So trades are still valid because all the high time frames are bearish. We're in a range, we could just continue down. We did get the entry model, so absolutely fine on that account. But a size to 2% on this particular trade, which is absolutely fine on a trend trade. However, not when you're at the bottom of a range in the discount. A little nuance that I've sort of added into the trade plan today because I'd not thought about it. It came up today and we took a loss because of it. So anyway, on the 5 minute here, and when Frankfurt opened here, as you can see, it was just chopping about. And at this point in time, when Frankfurt opened on GBP, we'd actually just took the top of the Tokyo range, a broken structure to the downside. So I entered here on the 50%, as you can see where the trade box is. We got in here, and price just went straight to stop loss. So that was not a good entry. Another thing that could have possibly been is waiting for London to manipulate. So you can see that Frankfurt took Asia highs, then Frankfurt took Asia lows, then London opened, took all the highs, and then continued to the downside. So looking at this through another lens, as it is a trade review, but the real manipulation is this right here, is London's manipulation of Frankfurt and Asia highs. So, and then with that being the manipulation, that means that's the last low, which means that's the next low. So really we want to be getting short from there. So if we get the fib, draw the fib on the manipulation, short, limit on the 50%, cover the high. Now I'd have never took that anyway because the stop loss is too big to get a target, but in theory that's what we should have done. But the range would have been way too big anyway. So we took a loss on GU because of that. Any other lessons that I can take out of that? I definitely think wait for London manipulation, especially if we're at the bottom end of a range. So here as well, you can see that we're pulling into this bottom end. We've moved down for quite a while now, so that's something to it was something to be fine to take a trade, not fine to take a 2% trade. So anyway, we got stopped out of that, and then I took a second position on Euro USD because we actually got a really nice setup. I'll go on replay mode. So on Euro USD, it was a very clean setup. So Asia ranged and climbed, Frankfurt opened, we never broke structure to the downside, and then we had this big manipulation and a break of structure to the downside. We pulled back into the the premium of the liquidation leg. I got short there. Stop loss was 7.2 pips. We targeted the 1 to 3 as per the trade plan, and then price moved down, which was fine. All is well at this point, and it's here where I'm watching it at work, and I've already seen that GU's just not played out. It's not moved down with any form of momentum, so I'm already having a bad feeling about this, and just went to break even. Put my stops to break even here because I like, look, if it manipulates and goes, sweet. If not, break even. I'm happy to be out of this trade because it's not looking great. So we got stopped out of break even right there and saved myself a full loss. So that's the trade review today. Yeah, we were pretty much. I think the errors in judgment today was trade was fine. Trades were fine to take a loss on. Could have been more cautious because we were at the bottom of extended swing legs, bottom of ranges, taking shorts. Definitely not the time to size up. If anything, be more cautious. I could have in hindsight, should I have sat it out? Maybe, maybe not. I think if I'd have sat it out, I'd have been annoyed if it had won. So happy to take the trade. Definitely shouldn't have sized up in that particular scenario. But lesson learned. Let's apply it for next time. Phase 2 of our evaluation, we are drawn down 2% now. Great start. But it's all part of the model. It is what it is. You were always going to take a loss. So, yeah, back to it tomorrow morning. See how the rest of the day plays out. I'll see you in the morning for the morning markup.